Wonderful. You
I can't see a thing. I've took these off.
awesome. Well, hello.
Hi,
Welcome.
everyone, Leah. Welcome,
Okay,
everyone.
so
Do it.
welcome to the Invert Podcast. I am Leah from Tarantula. We have Nat from Somerset Spiders,
Hi.
and we have a very special guest, Mr. Simon from the Mantis Garden. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Simon. Simon, thank you for joining us today. First of all, thank you for my interview yesterday. Very interesting. Nice choice of shorts. We might try and get a little bit of revenge today. I don't know. We'll see. Leah's got some questions for you that you're not prepared for, which is really good. So I'm excited for that.
Yes.
I'm going to say hello to everyone in chat. So during the podcast, we are not going to verbally say hello to people, but we might sort of just message in the chat. If you have any questions, guys, please put them up on the screen for Simon, so we can add them on, or we might find something that's quite interesting that we can put in. But yeah, should we sort of, how have things been, Leah? Have things been all right?
Oh, things have been fantastic this week. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Got in a good rhythm with feeding the spiders, and how about you, Nat?
Yeah, things have been really good, thank you. I've had a good couple of malts, and also I've been really looking forward to today. So, Simon, I think you've had a lot going on recently, haven't you? You've got some big plans, a bit of a room change and things. I don't know if you want to say anything about yourself as well. What kind of things you keep?
Well, I keep pretty much everything, really, if it isn't nailed down. I mean, even a tarantula, but I don't like them. I mean, that's tarantulas. My wife's. She does the spiders. I don't really like spiders. I do have a spider. Like my only spider that's mine is in this little pot.
And what spider is that?
This is a green orb weaver.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I love it.
That's it. That's my only spider. It's waiting for me to build it one of these.
Yeah.
And I'll put it in there, and that'll be my only spider. And that's it. I mean, obviously, I've got 1 or 2 million mantis, millipedes, roaches, ants, so many isopods. It's unbelievable. And stick insects. And I've got to say that. Hiya, darling. You're all right. That's my daughter who just said hi. Yeah, I got loads, just tons of stuff. I can't remember what the question was.
Fantastic. Well, it was just about, you're doing your room up. There's been a bit of a transition for you the last couple of weeks, hasn't there? So you've got big plans going on.
Well, yeah, the last month or so, it's been hectic because we built it all ourselves. So it's been a house full of timber all the time, and wood sheeting and plasterboard and doors. I just not been able to get in. Ladders everywhere, paintings, you name it, it's everywhere. And tools on the floor, it's just been. We have so many sore toes, it's unbelievable. We're kicking drills in the morning and things. So yeah, it's been a nightmare, but we're finally getting to come in here now. I've still got more shelves to put up all the way around, and I've got to make another 59 of those, I think it is.
59 enclosures.
Yeah.
How much did it work out as?
Well, they're about, these ones are about £2.50, which is about $3.30, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And am I right in saying, Simon, you've actually got a video of how you made them on your YouTube channel?
I certainly have.
Brilliant. Yeah. So if anyone's sort of interested, I've watched it. It's a brilliant little video to make really nice, simple custom enclosures. Like, pop on over after listening to this podcast to Simon's YouTube channel. He's got some cracking stuff on there. So I was thinking that we should just jump straight in it, Simon. What do you think?
Go for it.
Okay. Leah, do you mind if I ask the first question?
By all means.
Okay. So, Simon, what got you in the first place into keeping mantis and arthropods?
Arthropods, I've got to say, would have been my mother.
Your mother?
Yeah.
Aw.
Stick insects. 1974.
Okay.
I got first stick insects, which is the Indian stick insect or the lab insect. I just realized I actually don't know the Latin name for the Indian stick insect because it's just called, most people just call it the lab stick. So, yeah, we had those and they bred where we had them. And that was it. I was hooked when the babies hatched. That was it. I was hooked completely. I just went from there. And we went to gastropods mainly after that.
Okay.
So I had a lot of snails and stuff, which I've still got snails. We have snails as well.
I was about to ask, do you keep snails still?
We do keep snails. Yeah, I still breed and sell snails. So yeah, them as well.
Fantastic. Because I think it's really important for our listeners and viewers to know that you don't just keep mantis. So
Not at all.
you've got a bit of everything, really, haven't you? Apart from spiders, you've got your green orb weaver, and Tarantula Ramblin sees that you're starting to love spiders. But
Right.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're great. No, I just not keen on them. I find them really boring. Tarantulas, that is. Sorry,
Yeah.
Leah.
Oh,
Spiders,
no offense.
Hey, hold on. You're not saying sorry to me, right? Okay, that's fine.
You haven't got tarantula in your name. You've got spider.
This is true.
So
Yeah.
true spiders I can appreciate, but tarantulas, no.
That was going to be my question. So about the green orb weaver, is it something different? Is it the way that they're more that they're maybe more they're more busy? They keep themselves busy. They're more interesting to look at, observe.
I think they're definitely more interesting, more fun.
Okay.
If you just got the thing, you can see it. You can watch it build a web. You can see it catch an insect. You can see it wrap it up. Whereas, a tarantula, what do you see? Gone. That's it. Comes out, grabs the roach, disappears. Gone.
Some of them do, yeah, most definitely.
90%, don't they?
Yeah,
So
90%. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Although there are some tarantulas that are very heavy webbers that I think you would enjoy watching them build their webs.
Again, you say, I don't call it a web. It just looks like they've done this with cotton wool. You know what I mean? They've ripped a plush toy apart and spread it all over. It's not like an intricate web that they do every single day, and they're all different shapes of the webs like true spiders do.
Yes, true.
So would you say that you would have true spiders in your collection maybe one day? Like you said, you've got one green orb weaver. Would you have maybe net casters or things like that? Yeah.
Yes. Very, very soon, actually. Yeah, I intend to. I want some velvets.
Oh yeah.
That would be really nice.
And ogre face.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to forgive me here because I don't know any Latin names of spiders. I know one or two, not too many. So
what I was actually going to say is don't worry about the Latin names today, guys, because we're going to have people listening that they're not going to know what you mean by Latin names, but they probably will know common names. And we can put a list of the common names and the Latin names within the comments after we finished. So, yeah, just so to keep everyone happy. But yeah. So, Leah, I don't know if you wanted to.
Absolutely. I have noticed a pretty big difference between how enclosures are made and whatnot, like from the States and the UK. Would you say that, like in Europe, you guys are a lot more DIY than the States? Because we, mass produce things and we could just go and buy things off a shelf. Do you think that there's like a benefit to doing it yourself, like a bigger benefit?
Yes, definitely. Because like I put these shelves up and I put them up to fit the enclosures that I make. So I can decide, what fits where. So I can get more in. For instance, if I had to buy them, I'd have to make the shelves to whatever the bought size was. Whereas if I can say, I put these shelves up now, I just measure between them and say, okay, that's the size I've got. I can make an enclosure that size.
Right.
It makes more sense to me.
Okay. I like that. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I'd have to. I would also maybe it's just being this side of the pond, but I also agree with Simon to some point to some degree.
Mm.
I being able to make something is really it's really satisfying, and also you can customize it to that animal
Mm.
that you're having. I've got plans to be making something special, which I'll be releasing on my channel soon, which is going to be like custom made enclosures, because off the shelf things, they're good,
Mm.
but they don't always fit that exact purpose you're looking for.
Yes.
But then there are things off the shelf that are good, and also we do need to then factor in the cost of things. So the cost of some enclosures, you wonder why they're so expensive.
Yeah.
When you, and especially after you've started making your own, and you know how much it costs to make with the same materials, you sort of go, well, there's a 200% markup on this. So yeah, so I'm just back in your corner there, Simon.
I'm up for it. I mean, the choice of buying something like, oh, you can't see it, unfortunately. I've got the Exo Terror here that's 2 foot tall. And that was over £100. So, but I could make something like that for maybe 20.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I could make 5 of those if I wanted for the same price.
So essentially, the benefit of making it yourself is that it's more cost effective, and you have the ability to really customize it.
That's it. It's adaptable if you make it yourself. I've got this crazy thing here. Sorry about that. I was mating them on this plant, but she keeps giving him a dirty look, and I can't give her any attention. She's going to end up I'll put him away until after. Yeah, sorry. Yes, customize them so much better. So much better.
Wonderful. Oh, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go on to the what were we thinking about? So talking about arthropods, and I don't know whether you've already answered this question or not. But if you could keep only one, and this is a really difficult question, and everyone hates this question. If they were like, there's strict laws, you can only keep one arthropod. What would it be, Simon?
It would be a Rhombodera latipronotum. There you go. That's it.
You knew already, didn't you?
That's it. That's what I would have. I absolutely love them. Just no.
And for the listeners that wouldn't know what that is, layman's terms.
Common name.
Yeah.
One of the shield mantis.
Okay.
So it's a shield mantis.
I don't know which one. I don't know what the common name is.
That's okay. No, that's brilliant. We will put that in the comments below as well.
most definitely.
Yeah. No, most definitely.
I think it's white shield mantis.
Okay.
I've heard Chinese shield mantis, white shield mantis, Malaysian shield mantis. I just there's so many common names for the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and we experience that quite a lot in all the hobby, in across all the hobbies, don't we? Especially when it comes to our invertebrates, arthropods, Therathosae, things like that. So, obvious one is the Mexican red knee.
Right.
Well, there's about 5 different red knee tarantulas. So, what are we talking about? So, yeah, so it's sort of like thinking about that.
Like 2 or 3 flame knees, gotta throw the flame in there.
Yeah. So and what is it specifically about them, Simon?
I don't know. I've got to say, I think it's the silhouette. They're just majestic. They're just the way they look. They will the way they look at you and the way they move. I just find them one of my favorite. Well, my favorite mantis. And then after that, it's probably the cryptic mantis. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Sibylla preciosa. But yeah, the cryptic mantis is another one because it's weird.
They have a weird silhouette about them, don't they?
Yeah, they just beat the ghost everyone goes on about the ghost mantis. They're all ghost mantis I've got up there, but they're just for breeding. I never get them out. Everyone goes mad for them, and I don't understand why. I mean, they're nowhere near as weird as some of the mantis out there. They're so much better. So yeah,
That's awesome. Okay, so I have another question for you. Do you think that there is, like, what, in your opinion, what is the most defensive species of mantis? And also, what is the most friendly species?
Defensive. There's quite a few that are pretty defensive. I'll say deadleaf mantis. There's loads of them, but deadleaf mantis,
Okay.
excuse me, is pretty defensive. The flower mantis, they can be quite defensive, but they're quite aggressive as well. So you never know what you're going to get. They're either going to attack you or you're going to give it this, you know. So generally, yeah. Deadleaf, I'd say, pretty defensive. Most friendly, I like the bigger mantis, like the shield mantis. I do like all the shield mantis, every single one of them. They're quite friendly. Probably the Hierodulas, which are there's so many of them to list.
Like
that one, yeah.
These ones.
That's Hierodula membranatia, yeah. Which is
the Asian giant.
Yeah, it's like giant Asian giant, blah, blah, blah. This again with the names.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah. So they're really quite friendly.
It's funny because I got my mom a little bit into arthropods, and she actually had a giant Asian mantis that lived for about a year and 2 months, so about 14 months. And she was always just so scared that she wasn't taking care of it properly. And I was like, your mantis outlived like all expectations. Absolutely. So hands off to those giant Asians. They are really, really fantastic. I agree.
Yeah. They are a good one. They are a good one.
Yeah. So I suppose that takes us on to like the next sort of topic is what would you say would be a good species of mantis for a new keeper to start with, Simon? I think people tend to go for the ghost mantis or and like the most prettiest ones, but as we know, the most prettiest ones usually can be the hardest ones to care for. But if someone wanted to get into caring for mantis or having one in their collection, do you have any recommendations and possibly anything about the setup?
Easy to care for. That's a good question because I think 99% of them are easy to care for. It's not about the mantis. It's like anything else. It's like you can have a goldfish in a bowl. If you don't feed it or, clean it and whatnot, it's going to die.
Yeah.
It's down to the owner whether it's difficult or whether it's easy. If you put the time and effort in, it's easy. The mantis will be happy. Keep the mantis happy. It's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy to find out what temperatures they prefer, whether they like a bit of humidity more than others, etc. As long as you keep doing that, then you're going to have a happy mantis. Yeah. If you start, if you start ignoring them or letting them dry out or forget to feed them or don't give them a drink and then they die and they go, oh no, they're crap, and don't get them mantis again. They're hard work. They're not. It's you. You're I wish I could swear.
Yeah, it's not 9 p.m. unfortunately. And
so
I have to agree, Simon. You got to do your homework.
Yes, got to do that research.
All animals, doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be an arthropod. Any animal, it doesn't matter what it is. If you don't look after it, it's hard work. You're making it seem difficult rather than just giving it what it wants. Bit of attention and the right environment, and then it's fine. They're all good, all easy. I keep hearing stuff like think about isopods. Oh no, you've got to have this one likes more humidity, this one needs more ventilation. It's like seriously, guys, you really need to check on the map where these things come from and where they
Right.
live there, and then you'll know what it needs. All it does, you spend a month before you buy it. You find out where something comes from, and every morning when you get up, you go on Google and you type weather in country, wherever, or region. And then I check it out, and I come to a sort of an average that I need to provide for that animal. And that's worked out pretty well for me in the past, and still does.
Yeah, he's off.
So
Where'd he go?
He's there. Jump.
Oh, good.
He had a little jump. So yeah, so he just jumped off my head. Yeah, no, it's. I think also something to be thinking about as well is people get too hung up on this word humidity. So
in the tarantula world, that is, I mean,
and what humidity actually means. So yeah, people get a bit too hung up on that, and then you find out that their mantis or spider or something has died, but they've effectively been keeping them in a swimming pool, so
right.
They're not fish. So it's sort of thinking about that, and I expect on a later episode we'll definitely talk about humidity and things for our inverts. Brilliant, thanks for that answer, Simon. That was really good. I think Leah had a opposite question related to the same topic.
Yes, I do. I wanted to know what, in your opinion, was also like the expert level keeping, maybe the most challenging.
Again, if you look after them properly, none. But I've not had one, but I'm told that the dragon mantis is or can be a bit of a pain. I don't have any luck with devil's flower mantis.
Okay.
I really just no. I never had any luck with flower mantis, to be honest with you. I don't like. Apart from spiny flowers, these are all spinies behind me.
Oh, love spiny flowers.
They're okay. They're fine, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, again, orchid mantis. This is something a lot of people do, which is really irritating. If someone comes to me and says, "I'm looking for a mantis," and it's always the same thing. My girlfriend or my wife wants an orchid mantis. Has she ever had one? No. Don't get an orchid mantis.
No.
Because you don't want something like that for your first one. They are one. They do like higher humidity. So a lot of people don't provide the right amount. Or like Nat said, they bloody drown them.
Right. Yeah.
Spray bottle in there. Is it wet enough?
Yeah.
Too humid. So
I was fortunate enough that I did keep an orchid mantis for a good, and it was a male, so kept it for about 10 or so months.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I was actually shocked that I was able to keep it for that long. Because it was my first orchid mantis, but I loved it. It was gorgeous, a beautiful little mantis. It would jump onto my hand, and I think that they really appreciate that free time, like being able to be what is it? What did I say? I'm sorry. Like free roaming. That's it.
Yeah.
Free roaming in your home. And so do you recommend allowing for somebody with a pet mantis to allow it to free roam in their plants? And
you better do, because mine is.
Yeah, mine are. Well, I've got, I think, 7 free roaming right now in here, just in this room. Some in the other room. So the answer to that is yes, but providing you don't have them cat things.
Oh, right. Right, cats.
Yeah, cats has a tendency, because mantis, as you know, for some random reason, he could be sitting there all day and they might just think, I fancy flying over there. And cats can see that and it's gone.
Right.
So Yeah, if you haven't got cats, I think they're great just to leave on a plant.
I think that's a good point. I didn't even think.
Sorry.
No, I apologize. I think that's a really great point. I didn't even think about cats and our little furry mammal friends.
Yeah, that's the problem, and birds as well.
Mm.
I mean, I've been when I go outside, I make these enclosures outside in the
Oh,
garden, and when I do, I take mantis with me, put them on the bean plants outside.
love it. That's awesome.
And I bring them back in. It's remembering to bring them back in. It's the problem. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty stable when they're adults. When they're nymphs, I don't suggest it.
Oh, right.
But when they're adults, yeah, they will stick around. I've got a dead plant here next to me that they love. So I actually keep a dead plant on my desk. So yeah, let's have a look.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
A dead plant.
oh,
He's got mantis on it.
or is she on it?
Yeah, there's a little mantis there too. How? That's wonderful.
This is called sexy time plant. This is where I breed most of them, where I pair them up. Is I put this because it's got no leaves, so they don't get in the way of of anything. So that's sexy time plant right there.
Talking about breeding mantis, Simon. So we know that mantis can be cannibalistic, and we all know that story that the female will eat the male after breeding. But what can we do as keepers to prevent that? What do you do?
Well, I've never lost one. I never lost a male. This is what I do.
So you got a paintbrush, yeah.
That's it. That's it. Maybe this now and again. Depending on the size of the mantis, because some of them, when they grab hold of you, they bloody hurt. So, paintbrush, basically, behind the neck. When when they're first starting, when they're connecting, I'll put the paintbrush behind the neck.
Of the female.
Of the female, yeah.
Not the male.
Pushing down, forcing it, Get on with it, get on with it.
Yeah.
It's tickle like I put it behind the neck to stop her, and it's not for her head, it's for her arms, because they'll hook round like this and grab the male. So actually hook him round like that.
Oh wow.
So if you've got a paintbrush in the way, a lot of times they'll grab hold of the paintbrush instead. And then they think they've got him, they'll actually bring the paintbrush around and start gnawing on the paintbrush, in the middle of the paintbrush. So, and then he just gets on with it, connects. Now I can nick my paintbrush back, swap it for a locust. And they generally won't, unless something disturbs them, she generally won't bother with him then until they're finished. Which can take quite a long time. It's like 8, 10, 12 hours, a day or two with some of them.
Wow.
I sit with them when they're paired, like from start to finish.
Wow. Yeah.
To make sure he gets off okay. Gets off hurt okay. He's already got off. So it's just to make sure he gets off okay. I generally return the brush back behind the neck when I see he's come out, because they slowly pull out and then he just grab hold of her like on his shoulders behind the wings, and really tightly, and he'll put his face right down on the back and he'll wiggle himself out, and then you can see he's looking for an escape route to fly off. So as soon as I put the brush there, I can generally just touch him with my finger, and if he comes loose, he'll just fly off somewhere.
Right.
And then she'll go, well, I always get away. So yeah. Well, that's what I do anyway. It's just paintbrush.
Yep.
Paintbrush and patience.
Yeah.
That's
so
it.
we hear it's a contentious topic, I think, within the hobby. Not just keeping mantises, but also keeping tarantulas. Some people are on in the mindset like, oh, it's part of the cycle, whereas other people like myself are on the side of actually we're pairing them in this confined environment, and in the wild they would probably get away or they would have a bolt thing. So we have to sort of be there and help. And I know that there's a couple of tarantula keepers and breeders in the watching this at the moment that do. They'll hover over with a paintbrush or a pair of tweezers or something to prevent it, because they can be lucky and they can pair with a couple of females before getting munched. So it's sort of trying to avoid that if we can.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a bit about the Mantis Garden then, Simon. What do you have planned for the rest of the year? So we're halfway through the year, and have you don't have to give away any secrets, but have you got any plans or anything coming up in the future?
I don't really do secrets. So yes, that's just anyway. If someone thinks it's a secret because I haven't told them, it just means I forgot to tell them, right? And what happened is, because we knew we was doing this room, around Christmas we started, so it took quite a while to organise and get things planning. I put off breeding quite a lot of the species. There were some I'd bred earlier and they'd laid the roots, so they'd hatched anyway, so I've got loads of them. But I didn't do any more. I put everything on cool down. So until we got in here, I could pick the temperatures back up and feed them a bit more and get the ball rolling again. So I've got several species that will be appearing for sale in the near future. Including ghosts. I can't stand them, but yeah, I'll do them anyway.
If people wanted to buy them, how would they get hold of you to do that? Or are you haven't figured that out yet? Or
I was going to do a website. I've never needed to in the past because people just contacted me who I already knew. As I say, with selling bulk, I never really worried about a website. There's no point having a website to sell bulk, because it's only a certain amount of people that are going to buy them off you anyway. So that it's people who sell mantis. So I don't have to appeal to everybody. So I don't have to look with a website. I don't have to have it there for anybody to random to stumble across. So I never had a website. I never bothered with it. I think I may do in the future. I'm going to test this year, the rest of the year, to see how it goes. Selling to the public in wands or whatever. I'll probably be throwing mystery boxes soon. I might do an invert mystery box.
Oh, which that'll be interesting.
Random inverts. It will always include some mantis, but random inverts. Now,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, just random things like, there's a couple of breeding stage, make sure of breeding pairs of things and stuff like that. So people can have a go themselves. Because it's not really about the money, it's more about the getting other people into the hobby.
Yes.
And if it's difficult, people tend not to want to do it. Also, these days, nobody has any patience. For me, if I want to breed a particular mantis, I like to get them as nymphs. I don't want to buy two adults on someone and try them. I want to get nymphs. I want to grow them myself, and then I'll pair them myself. But some people are totally impatient. So I'm going to be doing things like breeding pairs and breeding blocks, as it were. That's what I like to call them anyway, which is 6-7 mantis in one thing, but you're going to get males and females, because when they're nymphs you can't really tell on most of them, until they get a little bigger. I'm going to be reintroducing some phasmids back, stick insects, but not many, because I totally overrun with those things. When they start going, it just gets so many of them. In the new year, this year, I started giving them away. And people say, I'd go and a giveaway. Oh, have some phasmids. And I in the end I kept 6 out of all my stock, and I had like 1,000 of them or so in one species. And now I've got 6 here behind me. So because they're really cute. I didn't want to get rid of them completely.
Oh,
But yeah, I could do mystery boxes, invert boxes, many, many more species of mantis. Might do millipedes, or I might save them up for a while. I don't know. I think I might just breed them so I've got a lot more. I've always been selling the isopods. But the best way to get me is Instagram or Discord, as you know. Discord is my thing. If you want to catch me, you've got to get me on Discord.
everybody's on Discord these days.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I didn't want to do the other thing. Oh, here's my WhatsApp, or here's my Facebook. I don't do Facebook. I got banned off Facebook last week.
Oh, no.
I posted a picture of a mantis and some prices.
Yeah. So that's a new thing that's come in, hasn't it, Leah?
Yes.
It's been.
Unfortunately.
This is what I'm going to tell you. That was what I expected. But evidently, I got a message off Facebook telling me I was posting pornographic material.
Oh, what?
That's what it said.
Okay.
So I got banned for posting pornographic material, and it's a face.
It's kind of a running joke that Facebook will ban you for something completely opposite of what actually happened. I'm so sorry. I think the algorithm is kind of messed up, and Facebook is kind of a mess these days. But
the only thing I could come up with, I looked at the image a million times. The only thing I could come up with is obviously
the big round eyes.
Yeah, the eyes. Yeah.
Well,
the eyes.
Yeah, maybe the long body with the head on it. I don't know. We're reaching for straws.
It was just a head.
Yeah, possibly.
So the cleavage in the eyes.
Probably, yeah. So you'd be happy to know there's a few people in the chat, Simon, that would happily buy a mystery box from you.
As would I. Absolutely.
How would people go around finding your Discord? Are you putting it in your video descriptions?
I've just started doing that now. I didn't do it before. I don't even know if I put my Instagram or anything. It's like I started YouTube for this, and mostly, I'm going to do it this time. I never normally do. Most of the fact that I actually write books, and the Instagram, the YouTube thing was so I could promote my books.
Yeah,
and I'd never mentioned it before. So,
wow, yeah, I had no idea. I mean, I did watch a few of your videos the past couple of days because I was really excited to have you on the podcast, obviously. So it'd be really cool to see your books and really be able to promote that for you, or to help kind of put that out there.
And my books are arthropods, I'm afraid.
Awesome, very cool.
They're about. I want to say hedgehogs, but that's wrong.
The last book was hedgehogs. That took quite a while and a lot of research and a lot of effort. But yeah, the last one was about hedgehogs. Yeah, but they are animals. They are animal books. But
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, I know that we are the Invert Podcast, but I also have cats and a dog. I keep hamsters. I have all sorts of critters in my house. So I think a lot of us are just genuine animal lovers.
Yeah. I just keep the wife. That's it.
That's fantastic.
Just the wife.
No?
So, I thought she was going to shout at me then, but she's not, obviously.
No. Is she standing there intimidating Simon over you at the moment?
She's not. She's in the other room being very quiet, which worries me.
Oh.
She's probably ordering some spiders with my 10% discount code that the spider shop gave me.
I'm not saying it on the air, but I'll tell you in Discord later. But I'm not saying what to say on the air. No, it'll be shoes, mate. Shoes.
So we've she's watching. It's popping up in the chat.
I can't see,
yeah.
I don't see any chat. So
There you go.
It's good.
oh right,
It's
I
good.
watched. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I'm in trouble. Yeah.
So I had leading into kind of a question, since we've been talking about like breeding and having mystery boxes. How many like individual specimen do you think that you have in your collection at any given time?
Oh.
And you can include, any inverts or, you don't have to do it just
Too many.
mantids.
Too many. Just in Mantis is just frightening. It's terrible. I can see about 400 just facing me.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
and I've got another 4 shelves to put up there, and I've got oofs to hatch yet as well, and I was just breeding some more there. So ridiculous amounts. They said at any one time I should have about 80 adults, which is going to be, it's a bit of a mission in itself.
Okay. Yeah.
That's quite. It's quite a feeding regime.
Mm.
When you
How do you stay organized with that? Do you separate them like I do with my tarantulas? Do you separate them in groups that like, okay, on Monday I'm feeding these guys, Wednesday I feed these guys,
Well, it doesn't really work that way with Mantis. If you've got fresh nymphs of Mantis, I can't just chuck something in and then feed them next week like you can with spiders.
Right.
I've got to check them, check the humidity, feed them, and then do it again tomorrow. So it's every day.
So you check like basically all 400 of your individuals. Just kind of. Wow.
Yeah, it's normally done before 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's not a problem.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes.
Yeah. And then some I'll have later on. What I'll do is I'll feed the nymphs. I've got that so quick, like a production line. I'm sat at a big table here. And I put my fly box here. I mean, I use a 14-liter tub for my flies.
Awesome.
So I've got to do, obviously.
Mm.
Can you imagine how many thousands you go through in a week? Mantis on the right-hand side that haven't been fed. Mantis on the left-hand side that have been fed. Wife puts these away, replaces them with mantis that haven't been fed. Comes in a production line really quickly. Done.
Yeah, very good.
So mantis open, spray, flies, top, away.
Yeah.
Done. And then later on, I generally take these out and play with them all for a while. And like each night, one will get special treatment where it stays out for longer and etc.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got too many to keep out all the time. As I say, one a plant there, one laying a nooth there, one a plant there, one next to me, one there. And there's a couple up top there as well that are out. So, I can't keep them all out. So they go in a rotation of who gets to play out today. Depends how they are in the row. Like,
I like that.
Quick question:
they never get out because I don't like them. Right.
Quick question from Tarantula Ramblings, following on from your feeding regime. What time do you get up, Simon, to have them done before 9?
Before I go to bed. That's what it feels like. That's why my eyes are always dark. It depends. I mean, in summer, it's early. It's really early.
Do you get up when the sun comes up like me?
Yeah, pretty much. And then in winter, it tends to go a bit later, and you get a bit more lethargic. It's cold. You can't be bothered. So yeah, really early. But hi, Paul. Anyway, thanks for the question. I can't tell you. It depends on a lot of different factors because my wife also works from home. And if she's got an early job, I can get a break and then I'll feed them a little later. It's a strange sort of thing. No day's the same. Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be boring.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just wanted to also we talked about like what you've got for like the next year coming up and stuff, and You've actually started a new segment on your YouTube channel, haven't you? Where it's interviewing other invertebrate keepers, tarantula keepers, things like that.
Yeah, people like you, actually.
People like me. That's quite right. I was on it yesterday. Just to say that.
Well, the object of that, of course, is for. I don't want to interview like. Well, I would do, but I don't want to do like Scott or Beastie Dave or any of them. I'm looking at people like Sean Spooders,
me,
yourself, Paul from Tarantula Ramblings,
Cool.
people with the smaller channels that just started, but they've got good stuff. They've had a lot of stuff all the time, and they're good at the hobby. It's just that they didn't show everybody until now, and I think they deserve, a bit of limelight, or for people at least to know they exist, rather than just you do the hard way in the background.
So people will find. Sorry, Leah, carry on.
No, you go right ahead.
I was just going to say. So people will find out either through you sliding into their direct messages and you inviting them, or carrier pigeon of some form, wherever they've been invited.
That sounds an excellent idea, carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon.
Can they also contact you, Simon?
If they want to volunteer to be a victim, yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I can attest it's not that bad.
Questions won't be it won't be anything really deep, and it's not the point of it isn't to try and catch people out.
Yeah.
I've seen interviews before where they try and catch you out. You're not going to treat anybody like a politician. You know what I mean? It's just going to be simple questions, because everyone's got a different answer, especially the one. The main one is the first one you asked me was, how did you get into it? And everyone's got a different story with that,
It's very personal. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to ask questions that everybody's going to answer the same thing to. If you've got 10 spider interviews and you ask the same question, what's your favorite spider? What's your favorite spider? It's pretty dull, yeah.
Yeah, after a while, absolutely. So I actually really appreciate that, mainly because here in the States, it does seem that the exotic animal, or like the arthropod community, we're all very helpful for one another, and kind of a tight-knit group, if you will. So I really appreciate that you would like to interview people who, are just getting started, like me. I don't think I have half the following you both do. So it really helps to boost everybody. And I'm huge into collaboration. I love doing this podcast. I love being a part of this, because I think that it really helps to boost everybody. And we can share information like all around, and that's huge. So good.
Oh, you just gave me goosebumps.
But
I think you hit the nail on the head. It is about collaboration.
Yes.
And I think the more that we speak to each other, so doing this podcast, doing interviews with Simon, and other, using forums appropriately, the more we're going to learn as caretakers, really, aren't we, of these animals? Whereas if people are like, oh no, this is me, this is how it's done, and they're not open to those other viewpoints, well, they may be missing something that might improve their care, and then that would improve how they feel about their hobby. And if you're closed off,
why shut yourself in a little box? It's still fun.
Yeah. Why give your creatures water from a sponge?
Right.
It's that old analogy, isn't it? So
absolutely.
we develop and we grow and doing things. So being part of a community is lovely. So sorry, my goosebumps. That's it.
No, I got goosebumps too. Thank you, Nat.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get all gushy in a minute.
So
we'll have to go and swear at someone outside.
I think what I like to do is show the support. I've not had much time over the last couple of months, but anybody who knows me, as far as YouTube's concerned, and who has a channel, that I will subscribe, I comment, and I like on every video I watch.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
I used to put like a couple of hours aside after I finished every day. I'd put that aside, and that's what I would do, and I'd do that every day, and then try and join when somebody's on a stream, even if it was just to say hi, give it a like. Just it's giving support, because the likes help people.
It helps the algorithm, doesn't it? And
yeah, it does.
I'm very similar to yourself, Simon. I try to get on as much as I can, and I've got the things that I watch, and I'll try and put a question in my comment as well. So it's not just so it's a bit more. So there's an interaction, because then if you get that interaction going, like I loved your interaction yesterday. Thank you, Simon. I know you can buy them from Tesco's, but anyway, we'll talk about that outside the stream. But it's like that. It's having that, and that boosts that interaction. It shows the engagement, which is really good. And I think we have to be supportive of our fellow creators, don't we?
Yeah. I've got to admit, I find this really weird. I always get a lot of interaction in the comments. There's always a lot of comments on my videos, and a fair few anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like I see other people who have got much bigger channels, and they're like may have 2 or 3 comments, and where I'm looking at mine, I've got you got 35 there, 40 there, whatever.
I honestly feel like that kind of speaks to your character about like kind of how approachable and how genuine you really are in your channel. You know what I mean? Because the more genuine you can be, then I think you're going to get more of those interactions, just like you said. So I think it's important to be true to yourself and to really just kind of, stick with that, if you will. Like me, you see me. I mean, I don't gussy up very much to get on this camera. I'm very like down to earth. What you see is what you get. So I think people respond a lot more positively to that.
So there's just a really nice comment here from Tarantula Ramblings, which is, that's why I make videos, for the comments and to make friends with the same interests as me. And I think that just puts a pin in it, really, doesn't it? That's exactly what it's about. It is about making those connections, and you can have all of these fancy glitzy videos and things with content that get people watching, like, oh, what's going to happen? But if there's not that like open dialogue, it's just a video. It's like watching a film, going, yeah, that was all right. But actually, you have something that's a bit more engaging that helps you, like makes you start thinking. I think that's really good. I'm really aware of the time, guys, and I'd really like to use this last bit of time to sort of think about if there's anything that you would all, the two of you, would like to plug. Really, have you got anything happening or in the future that's coming up that you really want people to know about? Do you want to give all your social media handles, things like that?
The Mantis Garden.
Yeah. I forgot backwards. Yeah. Hello. Yes. Just a YouTube channel. Instagram's the same. Mantis Garden.
Cool. How often do you usually post, Simon? I know you've slowed down a little bit because you've been doing all of this work on your rooms, but what's your sort of schedule like?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing. I should have answered that before. I intend, I don't know if it'll work or not, but I intend to give it a go. I've got a bit more organized in here, and I haven't got ladders and tins of paint and everything everywhere, is to set up my camera over there, and I won't be like this.
Yeah.
And just stream generally as I'm working, like as I'm feeding or as I'm potting up or as I'm pairing mantis, and just generally stream on a constant basis while I'm actually working, and then answer the odd question, like have a quick look and answer the odd question. So there's that, but normally I would post. I think I posted video either every day or every couple of days, because I'm doing something all days. For me, this is not a hobby. This is what people don't understand. This is not a hobby. This is my job. So I'm doing this every single day. 7 days a week. So there's always something I could video. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to move for my next video. I just turn the camera on, and talk as I'm doing it, and that's it. And I've done that with loads of stuff.
Yeah,
And
that sounds like something that I think would actually be really interesting to watch, to see how someone like yourself, who's running a business, because it is a business. Like you said to me the other day, Simon, I think you're the only guy that goes to the pub with catch cups to get aphids off of plants, but it's a business. But it would be really good for people to see how it's done. It's because when you order stuff online, you would think, oh, this is from a big production company, or there's a warehouse full of loads of bred mantises that are just popping out booths left, right, and center, and all this. But actually, it's the other bit that's sort of there. For myself, I find it very relaxing and meditative taking care of my animals. It really helps me process things, and actually to be able to be an observer of someone else doing that as well, I think would actually be quite relaxing.
Absolutely, I agree. Put a little lo-fi behind it, got yourself a solid stream.
Yeah, just watch me feeding 1,000 mantis babies.
I've seen a few channels, not invert related, but they'll have. So who did it? I think Petco did it. He had a camera inside his bearded dragon enclosure and had a live stream up for a bit. And I know Snake Discovery do it with Rex, the alligator, and stuff. And I think if you had a really lovely enclosure, Simon, and just had it because they're really beautiful what you make. They're like, from an artistic point of view, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they are stunning.
And then see the mantis kind of just going around doing its biz. I would also tune into that. Have it on the TV while I'm cooking dinner or something.
I spoke with my son about this. My son was saying, "Dad, why don't you do Mantis TV?"
He's onto something.
Because mantis will just sit there normally.
No, they move.
If you put a mantis on here now, that will be entertaining for the next 12 hours. It will not move off that lid. And it'll be constantly looking around the lid, trying to grab them. They're just absolutely mental. And he was watching that. He said, "Why don't you do Mantis TV?" So we actually call it Mantis TV now. If we've got a mantis, I want to move stuff. What are we going to do with this? Oh, we'll put it on the lid. Yeah. And you could go out, you could go for a week's holiday and leave it on it. Come back, it'd still be on the lid. So.
But they do have their little movements, don't they? Even when they are still, they're always doing something.
Yeah, it's always having a quick look round. You move, and it's just that I can't do it because of my neck. But that spin around with her head like that, and it's like, wow, they just crack me up because they always look at you as if to say, "What you doing?" This morning I came in here, and one of the mantis, one of the 3 roamers, had gone, didn't know where he was. And he was a male as well. So we thought, oh, he's flying. So you're dead careful. I moved everything for about an hour. I was looking for him. And I just stood out the window, went like that. And he was on the top of the window. And he was looking straight at me in the face as if to say, "What are you looking for?" Sometimes just the way they look at you.
Yeah, that's
they're looking at you, what you're thinking. Honestly, it really does. It does. Brilliant.
Well, thanks for that, Simon. Leah, have you got anything you would like to plug today? We like a shameless plug. Come on.
Absolutely. Probably the Denver Museum of Nature and Science right now. They have a really wonderful, super interactive exhibit that's temporary called Bugs. And I think I just posted a little video about it because I kind of went on a walkthrough and
where did you post it, Leah?
I believe it's on my channel. So it's
your channel. Brilliant. There we go. Shameless plug.
Yeah, there it is. Leah? check out the Bugs exhibit. It's Tarantu_Leah 13. Yeah. So check out my channel. The Bugs exhibit is cool. It came from New Zealand. And I believe the people who did the There was a movie that they were involved in. It was like there was some big animatronics. Well, they were also responsible for the big bugs, and they have a really big orchid mantis whole setup. It's really really cool. So check it out. You'll see it in my video. It's like the first thing.
Brilliant. I'm actually going to go and check that out in a minute.
I love that. Thank you.
And I'm going to do my little shameless plug. So, as some of you know, I am Nat from Somerset Spiders. Unfortunately, I do not drive a tractor at the moment, but I am looking at buying one. So, I actually had a thought about this the other day, Simon. I thought, how good would it be to turn up to Invert shows on a tractor? But anyway, that's my little dream for the future. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm not on Twitter because I don't understand it. And you can find me on Facebook as well. All Somerset Spiders. Just look for the big red apple. I just want to say, Simon, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really good having you on the show, and the information. Well, I'm going to have to go back and watch this again, I think, because there was some brilliant stuff in there. And also I need to figure out some of the common names for the animals you didn't know for, and then I need to find out some of the scientific names for the animals with the common names. So you've given me some work to do. Thank you for that. And Leah, once again, as always, it was lovely having you on with me.
Oh, you as well. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Simon. It was beautiful meeting you. I can't wait to see what you got in store.
You too. I'm gonna have to jump on your channel. I saw the one last week where Tom was supposed to turn up.
Right? Yes.
So Tom is going to be with us next week.
Awesome.
Yep.
Me as
so
well.
That's good. So say goodbye to everyone in the chat. It was lovely having you all. Some brilliant questions and comments. So if you can like the stream, maybe share it. That would be really good. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.